Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Alright, let's talk about this beginner's guide. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so hopefully this is going to cover as many things as possible for a lot of you guys out there. If you are new to the game, we're going to cover about characters to obtain, prioritize in building characters, stamina system, which packs you want to focus on, abilities, gears, banners, combat system, and also early on reroll. So hopefully, I'll try to forward you guys to some of the videos that I've made before if you are looking to understand each of the topic in a more detailed manner. But this is going to be an overall video that I hope is going to suffice enough for you guys to start out Brown Dust 2 in 2024. Now with that being said, let's jump into it. So when you're first starting out in Brown Dust 2, there's plenty of things that you need to take into consideration. Obviously, play through the tutorial. You're going to start off right here in the beginner's pack, right? Tutorial pack, Alien. So just do as many things as you can and then finish that tutorial part. The first thing that you will be able to do afterwards is come to the main home page right here. Alright, you will have access to this menu and then you will be able to have access to a new banner. So this is going to be where you're going to do the reroll, right? Now the reroll banner is pretty simple. Alright, you want to go for Justia if possible alongside with her SR weapon. You cannot obtain the UR weapon, at least not for Justia's weapon in the reroll. And if you can, try to obtain Cry as well. So those two are going to be the most prominent characters that you're going to use early on. Now how strong is Justia actually? This is going to be something that, it's a debate that's been going on for a little bit, right? So Justia is going to be very, very good early on and she's going to be very easy to build. And the reason why is because a lot of her costumes, especially when you obtain the White Reaper version and also the Knight of Blood, you will be able to obtain both of these versions. I think one of it you can obtain for reroll, this one, and then this one you obtain as you beat chapter 1, right? So she is going to suffice enough. You can see both of them have different tower range. This one has the diagonal and then this one has the front to back, right? So both are going to do fixed physical damage, unlike a lot of other characters where they can crit, Justia can't crit. So it does make it easier to build her, especially for newer players. Now, early on, your focus is going to be of these four characters, alright? So you're gonna have Justia, alright? She's going to be in your party, most of the time permanently in your party, so hopefully she will be able to carry you throughout in all the story stages. As you're pulling for other characters, hopefully you get Cry as well. Now if you can obtain both costumes, cool. If you can't, this is going to be the priority. At least the first costume in this one, Liberated Marauder, alright? So let's talk about costumes as a whole. Why am I talking about costumes? Costumes in Brown Dust 2 are more akin to skills. Alright, when I say costumes, that means skills. So for example, this Cry has 2 costumes, that means 2 skills. Alright, so unlike in other games, costumes are just skins for your characters to decorate them to look different. But in this game, costumes have a meaning. They are basically associated to one skill. Alright, so each character will have different skill associated to them. Now some characters do get buffed as they obtain new costume, and that's just how this game works, which is why tier lists are not as accurate as you think for this particular game. One biggest example is recently Eclipse, which is this girl right here, right? Now she used to only have this particular costume, the Dimension Witch, but after she obtained this particular one, the Nightmare Bunny, it puts her in the top tier in terms of the magic damage dealer. So that is going to be something that you have to always look out for. Even the same thing for Yuri. Right, so before this, only having one costume, alright, this particular version, she's alright, but right now with 2 costumes and both giving their own buffs, this one is going to be able to increase attack by 100%, where this costume is able to increase crit damage by 100%. Both these combined just makes her really, really strong, a prominent damage dealer. In fact, she has pretty much power crap most of the other light element damage dealer. Now early on, like I mentioned, you want to focus on physical team first. Alright, what am I talking about? The game is going to be divided into physical and magical. Alright, so you need to know Now, how do you want to know if a character is physical or magical? The easiest way to know them, they will usually mention it in the skill as well. As you can see, if I were to click on Justia, right? So Justia's skill, if I look at the costume, you can see for this one, it will say deals fixed physical damage. So you can see physical is right there in the description. Now, if I go to check someone like, for example, a Sherazad, right? So Sherazad that you obtained early on, this girl, yeah, you can see it says magic damage based off 60% of magic attack. So that's also one factor of how you can know it. So you can see this particular weapon, it gives you attack and attack percent. Alright, anything that gives you attack and attack percent is going to be a physical weapon. So if I were to equip something like a magical weapon, as you can see, there are some weapons that give magic attack like this one. Alright, so this is going to be something that Justia will not be able to benefit from, because you can see magic attack, you can see this is grayed out for me because Justia is not a magic damage dealer. Alright, so something to always keep in mind, for they both use different weapons, and that's going to be their biggest differentiating factor. And also some of the accessory, right, that has magic attack, you can see this one has the magic attack substat. I'm not able to benefit from it for Justia, right? So physical team is going to be much easier to build because of Ariness. Alright, she is going to be a 3-star character, and she doesn't rely on gears. Now she is a 3-star, so she's going to be able to be very easy to obtain. So what she does is she straight up just increase attack by 70% and also crit rate by 30%. So in a lot of new players' composition, Ariness is going to be one of the main key alongside with Cry, like I mentioned, and also Justia. Now if you are looking for more damage dealer, Wiggle is also going to be a very prominent one. This guy right here, so he has carried me throughout in the campaign. He's very, very strong. Even his gears at, you know, just R or SR, he will be able to do a ton of damage. Alright, Wiggle is going to be one of the few characters. You can see right here, 500% of attack. Insane multiplier right there. Same goes for this particular one where he can do DOT. Now, you have Cry, you have Justia, you have Wiggle, you have Ariness. So this is going to be something that is easily doable. At least starting out in chapter 1, you will be able to have such a tip. Alright, so very, very easy. Power up your characters, slowly progress in the game, push in the story as much as you can. Now let's talk about the packs then. So if you look at this part right here, alright, so this is going to be where you access the packs. So very, very confusing, I understand, but you want to focus on just the top one. The top one is going to be where the main one is happening. This is the main story pack. Now the first chapter is going to be of this one, a Night of Blood, as you can see. Now the first chapter, Night of Blood, is going to be the easiest one. Obviously, you're going to progress throughout. You're going to get one free Justia copy right here. Alright, progress through chapter 1, and then once you unlock chapter 2, you will be able to unlock this particular one, the Lapis Witch. So this one is going to give you one free copy of Sherazad in this particular story. Alright, Sherazad is going to be one of the first magic damage dealer you obtain. She's, in my humble opinion, one of the strongest one as well. So if you are building a magic team later on, she is going to be one of the key characters right there. But for now, focus on building a physical team because that's going to be able to help you carry throughout in this story. Now in chapter 3, once you reach this particular one, the Mistman, this one you will encounter Grey, and then you will be able to get one copy of Grey for free. Now Grey is going to be a decent character to build. She is going to be one of the strongest wind damage element damage dealer. Alright, so you will be able to obtain this particular costume. Alright, as you can see, you know, not too bad. He's able to attack 3 times, doing physical damage as well. He's going to be decent character that you can consider adding to your roster. Alright, so once you have Grey, if you don't have any other good 5 stars, alright, you can consider adding him to your team. Alright, so your physical team should look something like this. Easily, once you reach chapter 3, this is going to be something that will be able to carry you throughout up to chapter 10. If I remember correctly, again, I'm not sure if they have changed this ever since, but once you complete chapter 3, right, now you will be able to unlock a couple of story packs down here. Alright, what am I talking about? You will be able to unlock the Mirror Wars, which is the PvP. Alright, make sure you come here. do the mirror wars, do a little bit of PvP, right? So I'll try to understand the concept a little bit. Alright, this is going to be the mirror wars. You will have the ability to unlock this. You will also be able to unlock the Evil Castle story pack. Alright, this is going to give you access to the Evil Castle. Basically, it's divided into two towers, Tower of Pride and Tower of Desire. Basically, you climb the tower and basically get the rankings as it goes. And then the important one is going to be the Path of Adventure. Now, this is going to be very important. Once you beat chapter 3, I would suggest you come to Path of Adventure and try to unlock this as soon as you can. Now, Path of Adventure is going to give you the ability to farm slimes, which is essential for you to level up your characters, and also gold. Alright, you have access to gold dungeon and you can farm plenty of gold. Gold is going to be the universal currency that you use for everything, upgrading your characters, building equipments, upgrading gears, everything is going to need a bunch of gold. You also will have the ability to buy a bunch of ability pills, which you can use on your character. So as you can see, depending on the day, alright, some days do give you bonuses in terms of either double EXP, either double the gold or double the slime for the EXP. So depending on which one you want. For example, today, as of me recording this video, a slime has the double amount of EXP. So once you have beaten it before, you can basically do this thing, dispatch, alright, very, very easy. You will be able to just straight up dispatch this. You can see right here we have access to the gold goblin ruins, and then if I click on the slime, you can see there's this small arrow that points up. So that means that has the double EXP going on. So if I send my character here, do this, right, you can see I get a bunch of slimes in return. Now, each of these stages, regardless of slime or gold, there will be three categories. Right here you can see there will be very hard, there will be hard, and there will be normal. So early on, maybe you can only do normal, and that's fine. Once you can push higher, try to complete hard, and then complete very hard. Now, how do you unlock hard and very hard? Very easy. You gotta go to this particular place, like I said, the Path of Adventure. Alright, come here to this pack. Alright, you need to talk to this girl right here. She will be able to send you there, to grant this, and then just choose enter from there. So you can enter either normal, hard, or very hard. Now, I wouldn't suggest following the CP of this game, the combat power, because it's not super accurate. It's not super representative of your characters. But I've made strategies before on how to beat the very hard slime or gold dungeon. Basically, you gotta beat through one full cycle. You gotta beat all these small minions. Once you beat all of these, I'm not going to fight any of them. And then there will be one boss that's unlocked right here. Alright. The boss, beat the boss, clear every single one, and then you have the ability to unlock either hard or very hard. So ideally, that's the one that you want to do because it's going to give you a better return. Now, once you've unlocked Path of Adventure, alright, you have completed this one, then continue on in the story. Alright, so continue on in the story, go to chapter 4. Now, in this particular story pack onwards, you no longer get characters for free, but you have the option to recruit them in the pub. So you have an option to obtain Rao and Olstein in the pub. So that's where you want to basically use your scrolls. Let me enter this particular pack and then we can talk a little bit more about that. So every single story will have this thing called the pub in the city, right? So how do you recognize the pub? Is like the beer icon on the map. So for this particular story chapter, you can see if I click on the map right here, right? You can see right here, this is going to be where it's at. So I need to hit right there. We're going to zoom. So it's going to be right here. By the way, I am playing Brown Dust 2 on PC. There is a PC client for this game. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. Since this is a beginner's guide, I figured I mentioned that. If you guys are interested to download the PC client, the official one, it should be... I will leave the link in the description somewhere, so just look it up right there. Because I noticed many players are asking. The downside of the PC client for now, for the time being, is you don't have the ability to purchase any of the packs. So if you want to buy any of the packages, you can see it's unavailable. So if you are looking to spend money for the game, you have to still download and play it on your phone. But playing it on the PC is going to be my recommendation personally, as someone that's been playing on the PC client since it was released. It's extremely smooth. Alright, you can see the settings right here. You can set it to 60 FPS, I believe, in the graphic settings. Alright, full HD 60 FPS, and it's just immaculate. Alright, I do highly recommend you guys to play on the PC client, bigger screen, and enjoy it right there. So now let's jump into the pub. We go in right here. Now this is where you are able to use your scrolls, right? So every single chapter, like I mentioned, you will have the ability to unlock the characters. There will be 2 characters randomly that spawn right here. It can be 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. And then there will also be the character exclusive to that pub. So I've already recruited both by Rao and Austin from here, but you will have the option right there. You can basically use this particular scroll, right? So this thing is called the regular contracts or the R contracts. Now, how do you obtain this? You can obtain this from various different methods. You can basically obtain this from logging in, obtain this from doing quests. Like you can see, there are some logging events. They do give you mostly from the login events. So notice this is a little bit different. The color, this one is yellow color, and then the one that I showed you earlier is the rainbow color right here. So it is a little bit different looking. So what are the differences? Let's briefly talk about it. So scrolls is going to be how you can also recruit characters besides using the tickets or premium currency, which is gems, right? Now, if you go to right here in the shop, click on this one, right? And then the third tab right here, so click on this box icon, you can see this is how you can convert scrolls and gems. So let me turn off my face cam for a little bit. So let me move down my face cam a little bit so you guys can see. Now, as you can see, I have 43 of this 3-star regular contract, and I have 7 of this 4-star regular contract, and I believe I have 4 of the 5-star regular contract. So if you have a lot of the 3-star ones, now the 3-star ones can only be used on 3-star characters that appears on the pub. And then the 4-star ones can be used on 4-star characters that appear on the pub. Same goes for the 5-star ones. Very straightforward, very obvious. But you can convert the lower rarity ones to the higher rarity ones. So right here you can do this. You can see 10 of the 3-star ones can be converted into 1 of the 4-star ones. I can buy as follows. Right, and then I can use 10 of the 4-star ones to convert to the 5-star regular contract multiplied by 1. So you can only obtain the characters from the pub once, as far as I know. Once you have obtained them once, they will all no longer be available. So if I choose to obtain Say right here, she will no longer be an option right here for me to obtain. So early on, your option, if you can, try to get Rao and Austin. They are both going to be very, very good. So we'll talk about the main characters to equip from the pub using your 5-star regular contract shortly. But for now, let's talk about what are the characters you obtain from every single story. So as you progress, Chapter 4 going to give you Rao and Austin. Chapter 5, you will be able to get Sylvia and Rubia. So both of them will be here available for you to obtain in the pub. So Chapter 6, alright, so you will have the option to obtain, if I'm not mistaken, Celia. I don't think Eclipse is available right there. And Chapter 7, I believe you will get the girl called Therese. She's not really needed. I so far haven't had a use for her in Story Pack 7. And then Chapter 8, you will, as far as I know, there's no one specific in the pub. Again, I've beaten the chapter quite a while back. Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 and Chapter 9, I don't think there's anyone that you can obtain specifically. But the Chapter 10 is where you want to try to push forward towards, because you will be able to get 1 free copy of Diana. Diana is going to be a very, very important character moving forward. She is one of the stronger characters in the game to be able to give you buffs to fight against the boss. She's a very unique character that somehow changes the meta a little bit, as opposed to being physical based or magical based. She is elemental based. So with the existence of Diana, you sort of push towards the having a mono team when you fight against bosses, and she's going to be very crucial in a lot of the end game contents moving forward. So hopefully you get at least 1 copy of her, and if you can get multiple copies when you pull for her, good. But if not, don't worry about it too much, right? If you can, I'm not sure if you can reroll for her. As far as I know, she's not added to the standard banner, but that's going to be something that you want to work on first. Just obtain 1 copy. Now, as you have completed up to Chapter 10 and you have obtained 1 copy of Diana, who is going to be the priority in terms of obtaining the character? I would say the first character that you want to obtain is going to be Austin. Alright, Austin and Ro both are very strong. But you also want to try to recruit in Chapter 8. Yes, I remember now. In Chapter 8, you can obtain this character called Leatrice in the pub. So try to get her. She is going to be very crucial if you are building a physical team. Now, she is probably one of the strongest characters in the game right now for physical type even until today, if you are tackling the story content, because of her insane AoE. Alright, she can do just insane amount of damage. In terms of the story, if you can obtain her, you are probably going to replace her with Grey eventually. So your team should look something like this once you have obtained her. And this is going to be a physical team moving forward. Now, this team is more than enough for you to beat the entire story until very hard, easily doable for sure. However, once you have beaten up until the Chapter 10 for normal, which packs do you focus on getting up to very hard? You ideally want to go here and focus on chapter 7 first. Okay, so why chapter 7? What is so special about this chapter that you want to focus on this chapter first? So story pack 7 is going to be very unique. Upon beating story pack 7 in normal and hard and very hard, you will get one copy of Lethal the Vengeance, Path of Vengeance. I think that's what it's called, which is this version of Lethal. So Lethal have like 6 costumes or 5, is it? But you will be able to obtain this particular version of Lethal. Now this is going to be his strongest form by far. He just does so much damage with this particular one. The truth is, if you can obtain this, you know, it's going to be very important in terms of tackling for bosses. I'm sure you guys have seen the guide for how to beat the last night boss, but this particular one, he does so much damage. Alright, as you can see, increased attack with 5% of current HP, with the cost of 5% of current HP, and also deals insane amount of damage, 750% attack multiplier at +3, right? So you will be able to get this particular copy for up to +2. Because like I mentioned, you get one copy by beating normal, you get one copy by beating hard, you get one more copy by beating very hard. I managed to get one extra copy from my pulls off banner or something, right? But this is going to be very strong single target. It goes up to 1000%, very strong boss killer. So try to push as far as you can in chapter 7. If there's any priority in terms of which chapter do you want to beat all 3 difficulties of, normal, hard and very hard, it should be chapter 7. Now not only do you get this particular one, chapter 7 also gives you the ability to unlock this dungeon right here. So every single chapter, alright, so I'm sure you guys are aware by now, like I mentioned, it's same like the slime dungeon and gold dungeon. You gotta beat every single one of these. Alright, you fight all of these minions here, and then the boss will spawn somewhere here. So once the boss spawn here, you beat the boss, and then you have the ability to dispatch on this specific dungeon, either in the difficulty of normal, hard or very hard, right? Now make sure you gotta come to the entrance of the cave and you gotta toggle the difficulty right here. Alright, this is how you toggle the difficulty. You want to make sure to toggle it to normal, alright? Normal, and then go and beat every single enemy inside, and then come out here, toggle hard, and then beat every enemy inside once, and then toggle to very hard, and then beat every enemy inside one time, and then you will unlock the ability to come here to basically straight up dispatch. Alright, so by doing this thing called the hunting request. So basically you are able to sweep now. The game gives you one of the best quality of life. Believe it or not, this particular dispatch used to be, you have to wait, there's a timer for it, you have to wait like 6 hours or something. But now it's instant. If I go here, I go hunt using these 6 cooked rice, boom. Alright, as you can see, I'm able to just complete straight up every single thing. Now, why chapter 7? Because chapter 7 in this particular Lizardman Alta will give you the ability to obtain this thing called the gold ore. Alright, no other chapters give you the ability to obtain this. You can go and check, alright? So in the other chapters, maybe except for King's Grave, which is chapter 10 in this case, I believe chapter 10 was unlocked kind of recently, right? But chapter 7 is going to be how you want to obtain a bunch of gold ores. Now, what is this gold ore used for? If you guys are not aware, you need gold ore to basically craft for UR materials. Now, if I go here, these are the UR gears that you can basically craft, right? You can see a lot of these weapons are going to use this thing called the platinum ingot. Alright, you will see right here, almost all the weapon, almost all the UR weapon is going to use this thing called the platinum ingot. Platinum ingot, you can see right here as well. And how do you obtain platinum ingot is you are going to need to use alchemy by Sherazad. Alright, so you can see right here, you will need to basically have a lot of gold ingot. To form platinum ingot, you need a lot of gold ingot. Now how do you get gold ingot? To get gold ingot, you need plenty of gold ores. So this is going to be your source of material farming. In fact, early on, this is going to be your gate pretty much in getting a bunch of UR gears, because early on, you're going to run out of this first, most likely. This is going to be the first thing that you run out of. So chapter 7, beat chapter 7. Once you have unlocked chapter 7, then maybe chapter 10 you can do that as well, because I just realized that chapter 10 also gives gold ore. But back then, before chapter 10 was released, chapter 7 was the only place for you to be able to farm a bunch of these. Alright, so you want to try to get as many of these as you can. So yeah, let's give a brief summary. So beat every single chapter for the main story. Focus everything, go up to chapter 3 and then unlock this one, the Path of Adventure. Make sure you guys are able to beat the slimes and gold along the way. Try to farm as many of that as you can. And then slowly beat all of this chapter all the way to chapter 10, obtain 1 copy of Diana for free. And then for scrolls, I would highly recommend you guys to basically use it on Austin. Austin should be a priority, alright? And then Rao. And also right here, you will be able to use it on Leatrice as well. So those are the 3 characters. I believe it's story pack 8 that you get Leatrice, or is it 7? Should be 8. These 3 characters are going to be the one that you want to use for in terms of priority to obtain using your 5-star regular contracts or 5-star scrolls. Now, let's talk about abilities a little bit, and let's talk about stamina first, because this is going to be something that's very, very important. So stamina in Brown Dust 2 is going to be a little bit different compared to a lot of other games. If you play other gacha games, you would have noticed stamina recharges over time. Alright, so stamina is this thing right here. Above my head, you can see those are the things. These are called cooked rice. Now in a lot of other games, for example, if you guys played Genshin, it's called Resin. If you guys played Honkai Star Rail, it's called Trailblaze Power. Now in those games, stamina recharge over a certain period of time. Alright, which is kind of cool, and it's kind of a cool system, but that makes you have the need to log in multiple times per day. However, in Brown Dust 2, stamina does not recharge at all. You basically get fixed 40 stamina every time the game resets. So you can see this 11 hours 36 minutes. This is going to be when the game resets. When the game resets, you get 40 cooked rice. And that's just how it is. It doesn't recharge over time, small bit by bit. You just straight up get 40 stamina or 40 cooked rice every time the game reset. Alright, make sure you guys are aware of your reset time. So the game has a very unique stamina system. I do like it this way personally, because that means you can only log in 1 time per day and just zoop, consume all of your staminas without the need to worry about anything else. As you can see, right? Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. You also will be able to get extra stamina rice sometimes by logging in, alright? So they do give you sometimes in your mailbox, so just make sure you guys check that as well. So right here you can see the cooked rice, I get 10 more right here. It's also mentioned right here, 40 are automatically recharged at 9 AM KST, that's the reset time. If you have more than 40, then they will not be recharged. So feel free to use them if you have more than intended ones. Now, let's talk about abilities, because this is where it's going to come out to which one you want to focus on first in terms of character abilities. Now, each character has a unique ability, as you can see. If I go here, if I click on Sherazad, you can see this thing right here. This is going to be my ability. Alright, so you can use alchemy, for example. I will be able to use this thing called ability pills. Now, ability pills is something that maybe you obtain alongside the way from login, from dailies. So ability pills are useful for each character to basically use on to do certain things, right? So for example, Sherazad's ability is an alchemy, so it allows you to basically obtain ingredients right here. All of these, you will be able to obtain these things, which are crucial and necessary to basically craft gears, right? Now, who has the most important abilities and which one you want to focus on early on? By far, there's a reason why I asked you guys to push the chapter 10, because Diana's one is going to be very, very important as well. Diana and Austin has one of the most useful ability in the game. Now, to access ability on PC client, you basically just press Q, alright? And then you can hotkey them as follow, right? You can see they give you the ability to set 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like the pin. Alright, you're able to pin them as follows. Austin and Diana has this ability to basically send dispatch of these cats. So for Austin one, if you are low level, alright, at first you only have ability level 1, you will only be able to send 1 cat, which is Ratshu. But later on you you will be able to unlock Katshu and Matshu, which is the higher level cats. You can see it's going to give you a chance to obtain one of these items, right? I'm not sure what's the percentage for each of them. Austin's one will be able to give you quite a number of resources. You can see there's a chance to obtain rank up stars as well. It's quite rare though, right? So keep in mind the rank up stars are not exactly high chance, but there's chance for you to obtain back even ability skill books. Very, very cool. So try to level up Austin and Diana's abilities first. Very, very important. Diana's one will be able to send all of these Glutty. Alright, so she can send 3 different Glutties: Rusty, Patty, and Dusty. Now again, if your ability is level 1, you will only be able to send only 1 or 2, right? I believe only 1, and then this one you gotta unlock to the higher level ones. So how do you unlock the ability? Just basically use them every day, alright? Use them every day, and then you will have a chance to unlock the higher level abilities by coming right here. Make sure you check, and then click on the ability. You will be able to level up. You can see mine is already at legendary. This patch is a legendary, but you can, for Diana's one especially, there's a chance to obtain gems. Very important. So which is why hers is probably going to be crucial. Now alongside with both Austin and Diana, I don't want to talk too deep about abilities because I don't want this video to be 2 hours long, but who else has very good ability? You want to focus on hers as well. So this is going to be Layla. Now Layla will give you an ability to be able to craft UR gears. Hers is the most important, alright? I'm not sure if you can still use Fred or not, because last time Fred can only craft up to SR gears and Layla can craft up to UR gears. So hopefully you get her along the way. She's going to be one of the crucial characters to be able to craft the gears along the way. So how do you upgrade the abilities? Is you gotta use skill ability books, right? So in terms of obtaining ability books, you can see you're gonna need these things. 2-star ability books, 3-star ability books, and 4-star ability books. You can obtain them in the Evil Castle shop. That's going to be the best place for you to obtain the ability books. If you do the Evil Castle, you can see you can talk to Garinov right here in the shop. There will be the 3-star ability book and the 4-star ability book. The best place to buy the 4-star ability book is from right here. Alright. So as far as I know, if you play through the game, normal story or hard story and very hard story, you will be able to get plenty of ability books along the way as well. As you can see, I barely do Evil Castle, but still I have like 22,000 you can see above me. That's the currency that I have, right? Quite a lot to be able to purchase a lot of this. You don't have to rank up every single character's ability, but just the important ones like I mentioned. Layla is going to be very important, because she's going to be crucial in crafting gears. Sherazad, very important. Hers is going to be very useful in terms of you crafting materials to craft gears. Laytel's one is also very cool. You are able to unlock this thing where you can obtain, you can sometimes find the green items. Maybe there's not much right here, but you can see in the village, sometimes you can see the green glitter. I can show you. If I click on this map, you can see these green ones, the one with the green star. It exposes them, like that's one, alright, and then there's one more here you can see, right? Boom. Alright, you basically are able to get additional glitter because that's part of your daily quest as well. Cooking is not something that I use very often. Alright, cooking food is something that you can basically use. Speaking of cooking, sometimes you have characters that gets injured and some of your characters die in battle. So what do you do then? Alright, if you have your characters die in battle, alright, so they will not be able to function in the battle. So what you need to do is you need to go to the inn. Alright, inn are basically these things right here. Alright, this is going to be the best way for you to revive them. So you see anything with this sleeping icon, every single city has them. Alright, just find them on the map. Find an inn that you can sleep on. So just go inside. Alright, talk to the owner, this one. Alright, this one is a Lonely Grandma. Alright, speak to Lonely Grandma, click on in. So you can see you have to pay a little bit amount of gold, but you are able to revive a character and every single one of your character would be full HP because of that. Alright, so that's how you want to revive your characters if your characters die. One more that I noticed recently, Celia's skill is also very important. Alright, hers will be able to basically absorb fines on the map, but hers has a daily usage of 2. Alright, so I believe it goes up to 5 eventually. But you can use her in conjunction with Laytel's skill, so you can basically do this, right? Open up all the things in the map, and then you can use Celia's absorption skill. Alright, she will be able to absorb everything in the particular map, so you don't have to like go and hunt things and move around. So right now you can see if I click on the map, she has basically pretty much absorbed that one for me in particular. So very cool. You want to combo Laytel and Celia. If you have these two, their abilities are very cool combo. Now, let's say you use a bunch of your ability pills. Alright, so you finish up all of it. You use a lot to farm gears, you use a lot to craft gears. Early on, you might not be able to unlock UR crafting gears or SR crafting gears because you are going to need to level up your skill, and it takes a while. So what you want to do is, especially for the low rarity, the end gears, just go ahead and craft like thousands of this. It's going to give you a bunch of EXP. That's going to be the fastest way to be able to just push your EXP bar all the way to level 5, and then you can basically, hopefully, farm for the UR gears or have the ability to craft UR gears later on. So especially alchemy, alright, since you're going to consume quite a lot of this thing, you can see it consume up to 500 pills. Fortunately, I have like 40,000, you can see up there. But let's say you run out of ability pills, what do? Fortunately, you are able to buy ability pills from shops. Alright, you can go to every single shop. You can see every single town has this particular icon with the shop. Alright, with the bag and the gold, you can enter, you can talk to the shop owner, and then you can buy the ability pills from this particular guy. Alright, you can go to shop. You can see ability pills right here. You can buy using gold. This is why farming gold is going to be crucial later on end game. Alright, once you have unlocked very hard. Easily 4 million gold is going to give you 90 something thousand. You can bargain with the town shopkeeper, alright, to basically try to reduce the cost of other items. However, bargain doesn't work for ability pills. But what do work for ability pills is the today's quest. So what the heck is today's quest? So you can see right here, every single town will have the billboard. Let me see if I can find this one. It's going to be somewhere right here. So this is the billboard right here. So you will be able to do quests for the villagers in that town, up to 3, right? So you can see today's quest, collect laundry. If I accept this quest, if I accept this quest, and I can accept this quest. So you just need to do, as far as I know, just do one of the quests. If you complete one of that quest for that particular day, alright, do that quest in that town, and then go to talk to the shop owner again, you will get a slight discount in your ability pills. If I'm not mistaken, it's 10%. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember all of this value. That's going to be the way of how you want to obtain a slight, small discount for your ability pills. Make sure you guys are doing that before you are buying a bunch of ability pills. Again, I'm not too sure if that's still the case. They could have changed that. Brown Dust 2 is a game that's constantly changing and evolving. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, alright, if there's any veteran players watching this. As far as I know, it's 10%. Now, let's talk about combat system, because this is where I think a lot of people, a lot of players, I feel like they struggle or they don't really understand how Brown Dust 2's combat system works, which is why I do think that a lot of people have been saying this game is pay to win and stuff, because they think that this game is going to need multiple dupes, but I notice a lot of them don't really understand how the combat system works and how to basically use your character in a more efficient manner. So hopefully I'll be able to showcase this system a little bit and talk a little bit more about this. Alright, so this is the combat system right now. As you can see, my team is on the left and then enemy's team is on the bottom, so hopefully you guys can see. You can position the characters around, alright, depending on how you do with it. So first things first, Brown Dust 2 is a very one-shot heavy team. Alright, when you're playing PvP, when you're playing PvE in campaign, it's going to be one-shot heavy, except for when you're fighting bosses like Finn bosses, Finn Hunt, that's going to be a different story. But in most cases, DPS is king. DPS is very important. If your character fails to one-shot the enemy, you pretty much fail in the game. Alright, so which is why gears for DPS and also skill level for DPS are going to be very, very important. So right here you can see in the left is going to be my character in terms of the turn order. So who I want to move first is going to be arranged in this following order. So if I want this girl to move first, Latrice, I'm just going to slide her up and now she will move first. So ideally you want your supporter to move first because supporters are going to provide buffs. In this case, Arenas is going to move first, boom. Alright, that's simple. So if I press this right now, none of my characters are going to use skills. So I want to use skills, alright, very important. So I'm just going to use skill, this particular buff skill. Alright, now you can see now I have the buff icon, right? And then I want my Justia to move later, alright? So depending on how you want to go with it. So I want my Justia, there's two ways to go around it, right? So Justia is going to have multiple costumes, you can see. This one is going to hit in this tile range, this is going to hit front in this diagonal tile range. And then if you want to hit like in the front to back tile range, you can use this one. But it really depends how you want to approach this. It's going to depend on a lot of factors, characters you have, the character skill or costumes that you have, etc, etc. So I'm going to go with this one, and then I'm going to go with Cry afterward with the cross tile right here, because there's this cross tile right here, right, almost like a cross, and Cry can basically one-shot 3 of them, and then Wiggle and Leatrice don't have to do anything. Alright, so make sure you set it in the correct turn order. Very important, because some people, they go and do it like that, and then they mess up, right? If I set it up like that, Cry is going to hit first, but you don't want Cry to hit first. You want Justia to hit first. Alright, this is very important. So if everything goes well, Arenis buffs first, Justia one-shot these 2, and then Cry is going to go in and one-shot all that 3. So you can see how this is how you want to approach battle in Brown Dust 2. If any of the enemy leaves and they hit you in return, you pretty much are kind of screwed, because you have one character dies, and then, you know, like most stages you are going to get less stars because of one character die or 2 character dies. Defenders and tanks can prevent that from happening, right? But it's not going to be as important as you one-shotting the enemy. Ideally, you don't really want to bring tanks as often if possible. You want to bring like as many DPS as you can, because it's all about one-shotting. I almost never use any tanks at all in tackling any of the hard content in Brown Dust 2, except for the bosses like I mentioned, right? So again, that's a very pretty basic layman's term in terms of how you want to tackle the content. Obviously, there are some characters that gives you SP. SP is going to be this thing at the bottom, so you can see there's multiple dots at the bottom here, right? So I have plenty of dots. So each of these are the SP. Each skill are going to consume SP. So if I use Arena's skill, you can see these 2 dots right here, right? That 2 dot. So now I minus 2 dot. I am consuming 2 SP. So Justia's skill, for example, this one is going to use 4 dots, right? So should I go with Justia? Obviously not, right? For this particular one, Cry is better. So you want to go with Cry first. So Cry's skill, this one is going to cost 4 SP. So now you can see I'm consuming 6 SP. So I want Arenas to move first, Cry to move after, boom, just like that. And one thing that a lot of people don't know or did not notice, you can switch characters when you are in battle, except for PvP of course, right? So if I don't want to use Justia, I want to bring Sherazad, just click on this button right here, boom. Alright, let's bring out Sherazad. Where's Sherazad? Alright, I'm going to come here, click on her. Alright, who do I replace? Replace Justia, boom. Just click on Justia, just like that, Sherazad has replaced Justia. Alright, so now you can see I can use her instead. So a lot of people don't seem to know that, which I'm quite surprised. I guess, you know, not many people watch my old guides. But hopefully now that I make this new guide, you guys are aware of that. Very important. So we're gonna do, Cry is gonna one-shot this, right? So we're gonna left with this monkey right here and this diagonal tile right there. Maybe I'm gonna go with someone like Angelica, because Angelica can basically slice them with, can I do it? Can I do it? Oh no, Angelica's the other way around. So you gotta understand the tile, you know, let's just go with Leatrice. Let's just go with Leatrice. So this is going to one-shot all of them, pretty much. One-shot everyone. Oh, I forgot the bomb. The bomb is there. So the bomb explodes in your face and just kill everyone. So yeah, easy peasy. That's how the battle system of Brown Dust 2 works. Obviously, there's going to be much more complex death mechanics. You can also shift the position around. Some characters can basically, you know, push the enemies away in the other skill. Is this ball chasing after me? That's also what you want to consider. I don't want to talk too detail about the battle system in this particular guide, because this is going to be a beginner's guide, but hopefully that's enough to get you started. So now let's talk a little bit about the middle pack. Alright, so as you can see, there's this main top one is the story pack. Now the middle one, these ones, alright, this one is gonna give you tickets. You can do some of these as well, normal, hard and very hard. As you can see, I haven't progressed yet, I'm a bit lazy, but you do get like 10 tickets every time you clear some of these. Very important. So this is going to give you plenty of tickets. If you are able to beat normal, hard, very hard, you should be able to get 10 tickets per pack each. Also, they do give some quests for this one right now, for the Exodus pack as well. So right now, Exodus pack do have the event going on right now. If you are able to beat the hard difficulty, alright, you will be able to obtain bonus diamonds, bonus gems, something to take advantage of as well. So this is going to be the last priority once you have cleared everything that I mentioned earlier in terms of the main story chapter, unlock the slime dungeon, the gold dungeon, and then now you focus on the other character packs. This one is going to tell you story, like sort of like a multiverse in the other story packs. how do you approach banners in this game, how do you approach pulls in this game. So I'm gonna try my best to give a very free-to-play perspective on this. If you are a whale, maybe don't follow this advice, because this advice is mostly going to be for a low spender or free-to-play, right? My advice generally is, in terms of pulling for characters, you ideally want to obtain the character banner rate ups. I would advise against pulling any of these other ones. Alright, so a lot of people have been asking, should I do this one, this particular wishlist costume? I would say no, never do this. Hashtag not worth it. Alright, I don't care how strong all of these characters are, no, it's not worth it. In the long run, if you have been playing the game since day one like me, you would know off banner is really high. Alright, so what do I mean by that? You can see to obtain 5-star costume is 3%, but you only have 1.5% chance to obtain the specific rate up character. It's like 50-50, right? 3% to get the 5-star costume, and then in the 3%, there's a 50-50 of you to lose or win either the main character rate up, in this case, like in this Yuri costume banner, you can see you have a 1.5% chance to obtain the other 5-star costumes. A lot of times, you are going to be able to obtain the other off-banner characters, which is why I don't think pulling for this is going to be super worth it. Now, tickets, ideally, if you can, save them as much as you can, and if you want to obtain characters, this is going to be the one that you want to obtain. The rate up characters. Now, why rate up characters? Brown Dust 2 has a very unique system. Okay, so what unique system am I talking about? Number one, they always bring back a lot of characters via the standard banner. For example, right now you can see this is not a new character. The Dimension Witch Eclipse is a very old character. This character has been here since day one, but she basically made a rerun right here, and pulling when the character rerun makes more sense, or when they have a special rate up banner for the character, because alongside with them, it also comes this particular pickup mission along the way. So pickup mission in this game is what makes pulling for these banners more worth it compared to you pulling for the other banners, because for every 1 copy you get of this character, you get back 10 tickets. Alright, so this is going to be something that I've never seen in any other gacha games before. Now, in a lot of other gacha games that you play, maybe it makes sense for you to pull in something like a wish list. Oh, wish list is very tempting for sure. Alright, because it's like if you play Nikkei, for example, it makes sense because you can select the particular meta character that you want. But in Brown Dust 2, because of the existence of this pickup mission, I would say this is way more worth it. If you can get multiple copies, you literally get back so much tickets in advance. It's crazy. Alright, if this system didn't exist, if pickup mission system did not exist, I would say, sure, go for that particular selective, right, to get the character that you want. But because pickup missions do exist and 10 tickets is a lot, I would say this is going to be where your value lies. And also, right now, they've also introduced a new thing called the Selector, really like something that you can obtain every single month. Costume selective enhancement that will be able to power up your costume to a +1. So you are able to use this. It's a universal +1 for any costume. So you can power up any of the costume easily, right? You don't have to worry about getting other characters in the wishlist banner as well. So that's also one thing to consider. And also, limited costumes as well. So ideally, saving for limited makes more sense compared to you wasting your tickets right here. These characters depend, right? If they are strong meta characters, sure, you can go for them. Like Comeback Idol Yuri, I think she's pretty strong, she's pretty worth it. But in most cases, you want to save for limited costumes. So limited, so far as I know, the game has 4 limited characters. We do have Eclipse, which is this variant right here. Alright, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. Not this one, right? And then we also have Celia, which is this particular variant right here. This one. Wait. This one. Alright, this one, Masquerade Bunny. So these two are limited. And also, I believe Justia has this one for her limited costume as well, even though you get one for free during the event, the summer event. Pool Party Justia. Shirazad has this particular costume as well. Very strong costume, by the way. I'm so glad I was able to +5 her. The Pool Party Shirazad, very strong costume, insane amount of power. Makes her one of the strongest magic damage DPS character in the game. But these are the so far limited costumes in the game. Probably they're going to add more as time goes. So my advice if you are free to play, how you want to approach the banners, probably just save as much tickets as you can for all of these limited banners because they don't have or they don't make it in a rerun. And you do need multiple copies of them to a certain extent, and the selective costume enhancement +1 does not work on limited costumes. Alright, it works on the standard costumes and it doesn't work on limited costumes. So that's generally my advice again for low spenders, for free to play players. If you are paid to win, you are willing to spend a little bit, that won't matter as much, you know. Feel free to pull on which character design you think are strong, which character designs you think are superior. Now, weapons is also something that I get asked a lot. Should you pull for weapons? Is it worth it to pull for weapons? My humble opinion, no. As long as you are free to play, no. It's good if you are looking to tackle PvP. The game do have PvP. You're trying to climb the ranks. You're trying to tackle the PvE endgame. Sure, I can see this is going to be very, very important for a lot of players. But for most players, if you're a low spender or if you're free to play, I would say the answer is no. So that's just my personal take on these particular, weapons and stuff. Also, the game do give you out single free pull every single day. You will be able to get spooked eventually with this particular, like I can show you, right? Even some of my gears right here. You can see this one, I never pulled for this, I got this for free. Alright, this one, I never pulled for this, I got this for free. Alright, this one, I never pulled for this, I got this for free. This one, I never pulled for this, I mean this is SR, who cares? This one, I never pulled for this, I got this for free. You get my point, alright, you get my point. I'm just saying that you will eventually they will just eventually spook you, alright? Considering that the game always make rerun, just be patient, alright? If you're not chasing for PvP, I would say be patient. Eventually you will get the free, the weapon in the free daily pool. I wouldn't focus or worry about them too much. Now, if you have watched all the way, thank you for watching until now. We still have a couple of things to cover, but before that, I'm going to take a short break to talk about today's sponsor for this particular video, which is Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. So what is Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co? Let's talk about Tokyo Treat. Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box, and this box includes up to 20 of the exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. They are only available in Japan for a limited time, and obviously it comes with its own theme every single month. Now, Tokyo Treat theme for January 2024 is going to be New Year's Snacking Party. Celebrate the New Year with Tokyo Treat's New Year's Snackings Party box. It's filled with snacks inspired by Japan's Oshogatsu or New Year's holiday, such as the Lucky Red and White Kit Kat, Age Mochi or deep fried mochi snacks, Itomen Yamaimo, Soba, and many more. Now, as for Sakura Co, this is going to be a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware. Now, this month's Sakura Co theme is New Year's in Hiroshima. Now, you get to immerse yourself in the breathtaking nature and historic landmarks of Hiroshima, a prefecture renowned for its resilience and beauty. Delight in a curated selection of Hiroshima's finest treats like lemon mochi, banana bum kuchen, New Year's senbei, and omikuji candy. Now, all of this pairs perfectly with the fragrant matcha azuki tea. They have also included a very beautiful neko furoshiki, which is a traditional Japanese wrapping cloth. So if you guys are interested to either purchase a Tokyo Treat or a Sakura Co box, feel free to use my link in the description below, and also make sure to use the code GuitarRock for $5 off. So yeah, every single Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co box that you guys purchase, I do obtain some commission from it. If you guys are interested, I'll have the link in the description below. Now let's continue on with the rest of the video. Alright, so one thing that I've mentioned before regarding the pass. Alright, if you guys are not aware, this game has a very unique battle pass system where you want to always save 1000 gems, 1000 diamonds. Very, very important to buy the premium section of the battle pass. It gives you back in return. So for example, you can see you get 5 tickets right here. Alright, you get 5 more tickets right here, which is 10 tickets. Now, if you guys are not aware, 10 pulls in this game is equivalent of 2000 gems. But this pass itself, 1000 gems, you get to unlock all of this premium section right here. So essentially, this is going to be worth it. However, my advice is probably you want to wait until you're nearing the end. By purchasing this, you do get 3 pass additional levels, alright, 3 additional levels, and make sure you guys are doing this mission every single day. For example, right now I have one mission where I have to refine some of my gears. So I just come here, refine, do it once. We're going to talk about gears later on. Alright, and then this is going to be something that you gotta do every single day. Hopefully, you know, don't have to do multiple times, but just get all of these. Very simple. You can see you get ability pills, you get some of these devil coin from the evil castle, you also get some of these for PvP as well. Plenty of cool things right here to obtain, right? There's just no reason for you to not do this as well. As you can see, this pass has 21 days left. Usually there will be more than enough days for you to unlock all of these. I can usually unlock everything between like 14 to 15 days usually. There's also the gear pass that also gives you bonus rewards right here. So make sure you guys are getting all of these materials. It does help you in crafting and also building a bunch of things. Now, let's talk about the shops in this game. So in terms of the items that you want to focus on in your shops, which one you want to buy, etc, etc. So let's go first into this particular shop, alright? The golden thread section. Alright, so the golden thread, these things are obtained, you obtain these things every time you obtain dupes. Alright, 3-star dupes will give you a couple of golden threads. I forgot the amount, but 4-star gives you more, and 5-star as well. So every time you obtain any dupes of characters, they will convert into golden thread. What should you be buying for using this golden thread? I do advise getting the character. That should be your priority. As you can see, account limit, purchase complete. I have already purchased this particular one, right? But there will be a character that appears here every month. So that should be number one, your priority. Number two, right now they have added the costume selective enhancement. There's one trick with this costume selective enhancement that I didn't mention as well. You can also consider using the costume selective enhancement for the character that's featured currently. For example, let me just do it for the sake of the video. Yuri is being featured right now. Alright, I'm going to use this right now. Boom. I'm going to get my Yuri up to +2. Alright, so now she's way stronger. I do think she's worth it. Now, not only is that good, you're also able to get back 10 tickets just by doing that. Alright, you can basically, if you don't know who you want to basically use that on, I'll make a separate video for that for sure. But regarding the costume selector enhancement, you are able to do that if you are not aware who or which character you ideally want to obtain. But this one should be available every single month. Oh, I already used mine. So the 150% discount, you should consider buying this. The draw tickets, the ancient crystals, these are going to be something for you to craft a bunch of UR gears. You're going to use ancient crystals as well if you're crafting UR gears. Now draw tickets, very important. The SR exclusive gear, this one, and the UR exclusive gear, I don't recommend this as much. Now why not? Why don't I recommend this as much? Very simple, because you can see you're not really going to get the 5-star ones most of the time. You're only going to 15% chance to get the 5-star exclusive gear, 35% chance to get the 4-star exclusive gear. Same goes for any of these, right? It's not 100% that you will get the UR exclusive gear. So if you look at the percentage, it's actually quite low. You're still gambling within that ticket itself. As for the ability books, should you buy this right here? No, you shouldn't buy any of the ability books right here. You shouldn't buy any of the rank up stars right here. I've made a video talking about that before. Now, why is that? Because in the PvP shop, you are able to get the rank up stars. You should be able to buy plenty from here. Alright, so this is where if you want to buy any rank up stars, it should be from the PvP shop. As you can see, this is going to be your source of rank up stars. Alright, and then if you want to go to also right here, there's also one character that you can obtain. Make sure you guys are buying this every single month as well. So I do think it's worth it just getting that one free character or one free costume. But the Evil Castle shop is also another source for you to be able to buy either rank up stars or skill books. Alright, if you need any skill books, this is where you want to obtain them. This one right here, the 4-star ability books, you will be able to purchase plenty from right here, and the 3-star ability books as well. So something that's very important, you should pretty much just buy the rank up stars and the skill books. You shouldn't bother with the slimes because those can be farmed. As for the 3-star regular contract, this is something that maybe you can do later on. Alright, once you have settled all the important characters, getting them up to 4-star rank up star to level 100. But as for the rest, you know, that you can worry about those later on. Now, one more section is basically this thing right here, the Powder of Hope. So basically, Powder of Hope shop, you are able to obtain copies of characters that from the previous banners. Usually they'll have 2 characters from the previous banners, alright, except for limited characters that you can obtain, right? So in this case, we have B rank Idol Helena available right here, alongside with Anti Dystopia Diana, which you can purchase. And also you can see Ser and Justia right here. So obviously, this is going to be your best way to obtain dupes of the characters if you did pull for them, or if you don't pull for them, you just want a single copy. This is going to be very, very efficient. Now, you know, this is going to be a separate thing for sure that I sort of do like every single week, whether or not the characters are going to be worth it. So definitely, these are the characters that you can consider getting if you're getting a single copy. The rest you shouldn't bother. Alright, so as for this one, like I mentioned, I've talked about the scrolls earlier. Those are the ones that you want to consider buying. The nickname ticket, if you want to change your nickname, that can be considered as well. And that's going to be pretty much everything for the shop. So let's talk a little bit more about gears. Alright, I'm going to talk a little bit just briefly, ideally to give you guys an idea on gears. I'm not going to jump too detail into that because I think that one needs a separate video for sure. But right now, let's talk a little bit more about the gears. I'm going to cover as much as I can. Now I'm going to craft a gear and show you guys an example. So let's say I want to craft this thing. This is going to be the Venomous Touch. You can see Venomous Touch 1, Venomous Touch 4. It is going to be a little bit of gambling, alright? A little bit of gacha in terms of either you are able to obtain tier 1 or tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Alright, so tier 4 is the highest. So let's see if I'm able to obtain any of a tier 4 right here. So I believe this is tier 1. Okay, you can see when I managed to obtain Venomous Touch 1. So you can see this one is Venomous Touch 2. You can see maximum up to 30% at +9. Alright. So Venomous Touch 1 is maximum up to 25% at +9. Venomous Touch 3 you can see is 40%, right? But 4 is the highest tier, and that's the one that you want to try to get ideally, right? But early on, obviously beggars can't be choosers. If you're just starting out, you know, just focus on getting UR gears. Don't worry about the tiers of the gear, alright? So you're not going to be able to obtain that. So once you have the, I would say either 3 or 4, that is when it's worth refining, and that's when it's worth changing the substats for, because those are the ones that's having the higher base stats. For the 1 and 2, I wouldn't bother with them too much. So what does refining do? As you can see right now, this is CBB. You are able to refine some of these using this dusting, the refining powder. You can try to get higher rarity in terms of the stats. So let me see, I'm going to do let's say 40 times, alright? It's going to consume this amount. So I can just skip this right here. So I'm able to get BBB, and as you can see, I did improve a little bit from 85% crit damage to 88% on both stats. So let's see if I can improve that even further. 88%, can I get it to, I don't know, 90%? Is it possible? Oh, I managed to get BCA. So as you can see, very minor improvement right there, right? From 88% to 90%. But this is going to be how you want to improve your gears alongside the way. So obviously, only do this for the 3 and 4 ones. That's how I approach my gears. If you're doing it for 1 and 2, I do think it's a little bit of a waste, right? And then there's this option of substats that you can basically modify. For example, right here, you can go into this here, right? The hammer icon, there's this down here. You click on this. This one is going to consume a different material called the refining crystal, which you can obtain sometimes from the battle pass, from some events, and also you can basically dismantle gears to obtain the refining crystals. I will show you guys later. Alright, so let's try to modify this to get a better substat. So right now this one has attack percent, magic attack percent, and HP flat. So I'm going to consume 45. I do have 1000 in my bag. I'm going to consume that. So it gives me defense percent, HP, and flat attack, which kind of sucks, trash. So I'm just going to keep my current option, not going to modify that, and see if I can get a better one. Ooh, crit rate, crit damage, flat attack. So crit damage and crit rate is pretty good, but the flat attack kind of sucks. But I think still, this seems like an upgrade for Angelica, because Angelica scales off crit damage. I will take this one, boom. So as you can see, again, if you want to, you can also lock some of this option. But you see how this one increased from 45 into 90. And if you lock 2, it will increase even more. So let's say you want to just change one substat. It gets really expensive. Alright, it gets really expensive. So refining crystal, how do you obtain refining crystal? If you go to your inventory, you go to your gears. So you can basically select gears to dismantle, right? So you click on the bottom right here. So click on this. So some of these exclusive gear, if you click on them, right, you can see it will give you refining powder and refining stone for the R rarity, right? If I dismantle, you see I get this thing, refining stone, and also I get the refining powder. So for the UR or the SR, I believe, SR and above, this is where you are able to get those things. So this is an SR equipment. So you can see I get 30 refining crystal. So SR and above, now you can get these things, all right, which are very important. If you have plenty of SR or even UR, should you dismantle a bunch of UR? Only if you have plenty, all right? So you can see 60 refining crystal. It does give you plenty of this, which will help you in, you know, your gears, trying to improve your gears overall. Now, plenty of people have asked me, hey GuitarRock, what should I do if I obtain multiple dupes of the gears, right? Let's say I get another exclusive gear for my character. Now, that's a very good question, and I want to address it right here in this particular video. So let's say, so Justia's gear. You can see I have this Justia gear, alright? So this, every single exclusive gear has this thing called the exclusive ability. So hers gives attack plus 45%, and then there's this particular basic stat, attack and crit damage. Again, she's not going to be able to benefit from the crit damage, and this is the option right here, right? Basically the substat that you obtain. So my advice is try to get this weapon, the other weapon that you have, up to +9, alright? So if you are able to get that, and then you can compare the substat to see which one is better. So hopefully that's going to be the best way for you before you dismantle them. Because gold is so disposable, getting them to +9 is going to be worth looking at. So this one gives me, I can easily compare this one, you know, gives me HP percent, crit rate, crit damage. Now this one gives me a flat attack, crit damage, crit rate. It's about the same, I would say. They are about, I will value the HP percent more personally compared to like 12 flat attack, but it really depends on you. So ideally, I would try to use this instead of this and then probably dismantle that. So you can go with this approach. I would suggest getting them up to +9 first, alright, if you have multiple of the same UR gears, and then just make the comparison, see which one has a better substat before you just dismantle them, alright? So if not, you never know, some of these will give you like the superior substats to the one that you currently have equipped. So something that you gotta like give some thought into, right? Now, let's talk about one last final thing, okay? So something that I think this game has that's very, very unique. So this game has a seasonal buff called the World Buff. Alright, as you can see, you can always be able to observe it right here in the main home screen. You can click World Buff. A World Buff is basically some property of the elements get buffed during that period. So World Buff, right now Season of Light, is applied as the time of me making this video. So this is going to be something that's very important. In battle with the Season of Light in effect, property damage of light type allies are increased. I believe it's 30%, correct me if I'm wrong. It should be 20 to 30% increase. Alright, they basically, any light elemental characters do more damage overall. This is going to apply everywhere, across everywhere, in PvP, in PvE. So always take advantage of that. If you're tackling Evil Castle or any of the harder endgame contents, the Season of Light, the World Buff is going to be very important. If you use Cry, for example, Cry is a dark element, so during the World Buff Season of Darkness, he's going to be able to do more damage. So keep in mind, this is going to be something that rotates every time around. Fire is going to be next after February 14th. So there's that, alright? So this game do have this particular thing that you gotta always pay attention to. It is going to be a universal buff across every single content in the game. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure it's still on PvP as well. So something that I hope you guys are aware of as well. That's why Eclipse was so broken in the last season, because last season was World Season of Dark, I think, right? So she was very, very strong as well. So usually it will be, based on my experience, it will always reflect upon the Fiend boss, which is this particular Fiend Hunter boss. Whatever element that is advantageous towards this particular boss right here. So since the current boss you can see is Dark type, so Light type do have the advantage of the element. Alright, so that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. Alright, so I think I've pretty much covered everything. I hope I do. But if I did miss anything, and if you guys have any additional questions, you know, comment section is down there. That's going to be where you are able to ask me more things, all right, if I miss anything. All right, so there's going to be something that I'll try my best to also timestamp this as I am editing. But as of right now, the video seems to be more than 1 hour long, which is crazy. But hopefully I can try to shrink it down a little bit, you know, remove the irrelevant parts. But hey, I hope this is going to be enough to get you started with Brown Dust 2 in 2024. Obviously, yeah, before I end the video, dailies, very important. Please watch this video on how to do dailies on Brown Dust 2, because Brown Dust 2 dailies, if you're just talking about simple daily stuff, everything is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, dailies of this game is very fast. It's about 8 to 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So I feel like that's going to be something that a lot of players might still struggle on what they need to do every single day. So that is going to be the video to watch, hopefully right here. Alright, I'll also, you know, have the video in the comment and in the description as well. So yeah, I hope you guys are able to enjoy the game as much as I do. Definitely, I do think that Brown Dust 2 is one of the better games, one of the better gacha games especially, right? If you love a JRPG style gacha game that allows you to travel across, you know, move your characters around. Also, it's very pretty, right? Look at this, man. This Alice in the Wonderland theme in this particular Red Riding Hood RAW pack. So cool. Alright, so I'll see you guys again very soon. Take care. I will do a more detailed gear guide on how to, you know, equip certain gears on characters. Hopefully that will be something that I'll work on later. But for now, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Have a nice day. Goodbye.